What if I told you that right now, in our own cosmic backyard, there's a moon that shouldn't exist, a planet that rains diamonds, and an asteroid so valuable it could crash the entire global economy overnight? You think you know our solar system. You learned about 9 planets in school. Well, 8 now. Some moons, some asteroids, maybe a few comets. But the reality is far stranger than any textbook ever dared to reveal. Welcome to Space Prime. I'm your host, and today we're taking a journey through the most bizarre, mind-bending, and downright impossible objects floating in our cosmic neighborhood. Objects so strange that they're forcing scientists to rewrite everything they thought they knew about how solar systems work. Buckle up, because our solar system is about to get weird. The impossible moon. Let's start with something that, according to everything we know about physics, absolutely should not exist. Our own moon. Think about it. Earth's moon is massive, about 1/4 the size of our planet. That might not sound impressive until you realize that no other rocky planet in our solar system has a moon anywhere close to that size relative to the parent planet. Mars has 2 tiny potato-shaped rocks. Venus has nothing. Mercury has nothing. But here's where it gets really weird. Computer simulations show that a moon as large as ours should either crash into Earth or fly away into space within a few million years. Yet, here it is, 4.5 billion years later, still hanging around, still perfectly positioned to give us stable seasons, ocean tides, and those Instagram-worthy lunar eclipses. The leading theory? A Mars-sized object called Theia slammed into early Earth with such precise force and angle that it ejected material into orbit, which then coalesced into our moon. But here's the kicker. The odds of this happening exactly the way it did are so astronomically small that some scientists wonder if we're looking at the most unlikely cosmic coincidence in the universe, or if there's something about planetary formation we fundamentally don't understand. Our moon isn't just strange, it's impossibly perfect, and that should terrify anyone who believes in coincidences. The Diamond Rain Planet. Now let's travel to Neptune, a world so bizarre it seems like it was designed by a cosmic lottery winner with unlimited imagination and questionable taste. Neptune is what scientists call an ice giant, but don't let that fool you into thinking it's cold and boring. This planet is a hellscape of extremes where the impossible happens on a daily basis. We're talking about winds that reach 1,200 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound on Earth. Imagine hurricanes so powerful they could circle our entire planet in just a few hours. But here's the really mind-bending part. It rains diamonds. I'm not being poetic here. The atmospheric pressure on Neptune is so intense and the chemical composition so specific that carbon atoms are literally compressed into diamond crystals high in the atmosphere. These diamonds then fall like hail through the planet's interior, potentially forming diamond icebergs floating in seas of liquid carbon. Scientists estimate that Neptune produces about 1,000 tons of diamonds every year. To put that in perspective, that's more diamonds than humans have mined in our entire history, falling from the sky every single year on a planet 2.8 billion miles away. And here's the cherry on top of this cosmic sundae. Neptune has a moon called Triton that orbits backwards. Not sideways, not at a weird angle, completely backwards, like it's rebelling against the fundamental laws of orbital mechanics. The economy-killing asteroid. Speaking of valuable things floating in space, let me introduce you to 16 Psyche, an asteroid that could literally end capitalism as we know it. Most asteroids are boring chunks of rock and ice. 16 Psyche is different. It's made almost entirely of metal. We're talking about iron, nickel, gold, platinum, and rare earth elements worth an estimated $10 quadrillion. That's a 10 with 19 zeros after it. To put that number in perspective, if we could somehow mine 16 Psyche and bring all its materials back to Earth, every single person on the planet would become a billionaire overnight. The global economy would collapse not from scarcity, but from abundance so extreme that money would become meaningless. But here's what makes 16 Psyche truly strange. It shouldn't exist. This asteroid is likely the exposed core of a failed planet, a world that was blasted apart during the chaotic early days of our solar system, leaving behind only its metallic heart floating in space like a cosmic autopsy. NASA is currently sending a spacecraft to study 16 Psyche, not to mine it, that's still science fiction, but to understand how planetary cores form and what happens when worlds die violent deaths. The spacecraft won't arrive until 2029, but when it does, we'll get our first close-up look at the remains of a murdered planet, the upside-down world. Now let's visit Uranus, a planet so weird that astronomers spent decades arguing about whether they were looking at it correctly. Every planet in our solar system spins like a top, with their axis of rotation roughly perpendicular to their orbital plane. Every planet except Uranus. This ice giant is tilted 98 degrees on its side, meaning it essentially rolls around the sun like a cosmic bowling ball instead of spinning like a top. This creates the strangest seasonal cycle in the solar system. Each pole of Uranus experiences 42 years of continuous sunlight, followed by 42 years of complete darkness. Imagine living through a winter that lasts longer than most human lifetimes. But the weirdness doesn't stop there. Uranus has rings. We knew that. But these rings are vertical instead of horizontal, standing up like cosmic hoops around the planet's equator. It's as if someone took Saturn's rings and rotated them 90 degrees just to mess with astronomers. And here's the part that keeps planetary scientists awake at night. We have no idea why Uranus is like this. The leading theory is that something massive, maybe another planet, maybe a moon, maybe something else entirely, smashed into Uranus billions of years ago and knocked it sideways. But what could hit a planet hard enough to flip it over without destroying it completely? The Frankenstein moon. Let me tell you about Iapetus, one of Saturn's moons, which looks like it was assembled by a cosmic mad scientist who couldn't decide what kind of moon he wanted to build. First, Iapetus has two faces, literally. One hemisphere is dark as coal, the other bright as fresh snow. The contrast is so stark that when astronomer Giovanni Cassini first observed it in 1671, he could only see the moon when it was on one side of Saturn. He thought it was disappearing and reappearing like some kind of cosmic magic trick. But wait, it gets stranger. Iapetus has a ridge running around its equator that makes it look like a walnut. This ridge is 12 miles high in some places. That's taller than Mount Everest, and it circles the entire moon like a cosmic seam. Scientists still can't agree on how this ridge formed. Some think it's the remains of a collapsed ring system. Others believe it's leftover material from when the moon was spinning much faster. The most exotic theory suggests that Iapetus might actually be hollow, with the ridge representing some kind of internal structural support. And here's the detail that should make your skin crawl. The ridge is almost perfectly aligned with Iapetus's equator. In a universe where nothing is perfect, where everything is shaped by random collisions and chaotic forces, how does a moon develop a ridge that runs around its middle like it was engineered? The volcanic nightmare moon. Finally, let's talk about Io, Jupiter's pizza-colored moon that's literally turning itself inside out. Io is the most volcanically active body in the solar system. We're not talking about the occasional eruption like you'd see on Earth. This moon has over 400 active volcanoes, spewing sulfur compounds hundreds of miles into space. The volcanic activity is so intense that Io completely resurfaces itself every million years or so, which in geological terms is like changing clothes. But here's what makes Io's volcanism truly bizarre. It's powered by gravity, not internal heat. Jupiter's massive gravitational field, combined with the gravitational pull of Europa and Ganymede, literally squeezes and stretches Io like a cosmic stress ball. This constant flexing generates enough friction to keep the moon's interior molten. The result is a world that looks like a pepperoni pizza had a bad reaction to radioactive cheese. Yellow sulfur plains, red sulfur deposits, black volcanic rock, and white sulfur dioxide snow, all combine to create the most colorful and violent world in our solar system. Some of Io's volcanic plumes reach heights of 300 miles. That's higher than the International Space Station orbits above Earth. If you were standing on Io's surface, you'd see fountains of molten rock arcing over the horizon like cosmic fireworks. So there you have it, just a small sample of the impossible, inexplicable, and downright insane objects floating around in our cosmic neighborhood. A moon that shouldn't exist, but somehow keeps our planet stable. A world where diamonds fall from the sky. An asteroid worth more money than humans have ever imagined. A planet that forgot which way is up. A moon that looks like it was built in a cosmic workshop. And a volcanic hellscape powered by the squeeze of gravity. And here's the truly mind-bending part. These are just the objects we know about. Every year we discover new moons, new asteroids, new phenomena that challenge everything we think we understand about how solar systems work. Our universe isn't just stranger than we imagine, it's stranger than we can imagine. And that's exactly why we keep looking up. What's the strangest object you think is lurking in our solar system? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to explore more cosmic mysteries, subscribe to Space Prime and hit that notification bell. Because in a universe this weird, you never know what we'll discover next. Thanks for watching Space Prime. Until next time, keep questioning everything.